Welcome back for another week of consistency. Oh my god, can you believe it? We are back. There was technical issues last week with the podcast, so if you didn't listen to last week's podcast on Spotify or Apple, have no fears. It's on YouTube. Yes, that's right. You can watch the podcast now and see me basically cuddling my pregnancy pillow. Because, you know, when I record these, I just like to be comfortable with my surroundings. This week, and I think for the next couple of weeks, it's just going to be a recap on where my head's at. One for me, but two, to also give you a perspective that things can change very, very quickly in terms of your mindset. Like, if I go back 2 weeks ago, I was literally like, my life is a mess. What am I doing with myself? I need to do X, Y, and Z. Probably making some or having some rash thoughts about how I need to change my life. When the reality is, I didn't need to change anything apart from going back to what put me into the best place of my life, which is exactly what I did last week. Up early every day. I know it doesn't sound like it's a massive thing, but for me to have a couple of hours in the morning where I don't have to deal with anyone else's shit is the best part of my day sometimes. It allows me to be in my own head with my own thoughts, and it is something that I'd recommend to fucking anyone. Like, people that just roll out of bed and then boom, you're in a rush to get to work, or you're in a rush to fucking see your pals or whatever it is. Take some time for yourself, because ultimately you are the most important thing on this planet. And people think sometimes when I say that, that's, oh well, you're not God or whatever. I'm not saying it in that sense, but what I am saying is, if you concentrate on making yourself happy before other people, you're going to be better in all of your interactions, whether that is friendships, relationships. You're going to be more proactive, productive in your job. So yeah, I don't know why I've gone on a segue that much about waking up early, but honestly, it's a game changer. So that's what I've been doing. On top of that, meditating every day, walking everywhere. When it's been shit weather in Sydney, which seems to be like all the time at the minute, I take myself to the gym and I actually walk on a treadmill, which I fucking hate doing, but needs must. And I think the main crux of this pod is like, people focus so much on, it's going to take me ages to get in shape, or it's going to take me ages to set up this business, or it's going to take me ages to get my mental health to where I want it to be. One, that's just a bullshit story you're telling yourself because you just don't want to put in the work, frankly. And secondly, the time that you're saying is going to be ages, that time, unless you die, that time's going to pass anyway. So your choices are put the work in, get the results, or keep moaning about the shit and get zero results. And for me personally, it's taken me a week to get back to my highest level, I would say, like, which I think is fucking ridiculous. Because the whole time that I've been putting shit off or not putting in the work or letting things slide a little bit with how proactive I've been at protecting my mental health, after a week, I feel back on top. And all these weeks that I was thinking, I feel shit, don't get me wrong, not having a gaff definitely played a part in that. But now the routine is back on. Like, I am in full selfish mode. I'm doing so much shit for me and I feel great about it. I think that too many people worry about how they're gonna interact with people, how they're gonna be perceived by people by doing shit they know makes them feel better. Like, it's always, I should probably do that, but I'm not gonna. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of mentality is what's gonna hold you back. So from me on a personal perspective, I just think if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, oh, fucking hell, I feel shit, or I want to get in shape, or I want to start that business, or I want to be doing X, Y, and Z, whatever your interests are, like, just fucking go. What are you waiting for? And people wait for these bursts of motivation, which I don't really believe exist. Like, don't get me wrong, some days you can be more motivated than others, but I think the burning desire for a lot of people is, it's not actually, oh yeah, I feel up for it today. It's more the mindset of, you get to a point where you can't continue being the way that you are. So then you're like, fuck this, something needs to change. So then you get a burst of motivation. But then a lot of people will be like, and I had the fear of this as well last week, where I was like, it's day one. Everyone started something, said, oh yeah, I'm going to do this every single day. Like, a week later, they're just like, oh, okay, shit, well, I found that a little bit difficult. It put me out of my comfort zone, so I'm just going to settle back into the old habits that made me feel shit. Like, you ain't going to be mad motivated every day. And at the start of any journey, it's going to be the hardest part, because you need to basically have that sort of snowball mentality, where obviously a snowball starts tiny. If you roll it down a hill, you're going to have a pretty fucking big snowball. So it's about building the momentum up. And in my opinion, the first week is the most crucial. Like, when you're setting these new habits that you want to do to make yourself feel better ultimately, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, at the end of week one, I haven't got the results that I wanted to. Like, don't get me wrong, last week was a fucking unbelievable week for me. But more for my mindset, more knowing that I'm doing the shit that I need to do, rather than choosing the easy options. So last week, more or less every day, I chose the hard things to do, which now, going into this week, I'm like, fuck, that feeling of forcing myself out of bed, getting into cold showers, going for a dip, making sure I do everything that sorts me out mentally, because they ain't easy things. Most days that I'll go to the gym, I'm like, I can't be bothered to do this. But I do it anyway, because I know at the end of the session, I'm going to feel 1,000 times better. And that is with anything in your life. Like, the results you're going to feel after making a change are not going to be in your body. You're not going to decide today, oh, I want to get fit, and next week, Monday, you're going to be in the best shape of your life. No, you're not going to decide today to set up a business, and next week you're going to be a multi-millionaire. It doesn't work like that. But this is the most crucial time. Whenever you're starting something new or trying to make a change to get to where you want to be, the first 2 weeks, first 2 weeks, they're fucking crucial. They are crucial, because that's going to define whether or not it's just an impulse thing of, oh, I'd love to change, but I can't be fucked to put in the work, or, okay, I'm going to make the change. I can feel the mental benefits already. So if I keep turning up, putting one foot in front of the other, somewhere down the line, whenever that will be, the results will come. And that's another crucial point. Time will kill so many dreams, in my opinion. Like, if you say to someone, or if you think, I want to be in sick shape in 12 weeks, yeah? Well, you might be 14 weeks away from being in unbelievable shape. Is that a failure? No. It just means it's taken more time. You might give yourself 3 years to set up a business. If it takes 4, is that a failure? No. It's just taken a little bit longer. And I think that people put so much emphasis on how long it would take to do something. It's probably why that, like, things like fucking juice diets and shit like that exist, because you can lose a shitload of weight really early, or really quickly I should say, and then, I'm just holding this water for no reason, we'll have a suck on this, you could lose a shitload of weight straight away, and yeah, it's a quick fix, but ultimately you're going to go back to the way you were. Yeah, so quick fixes ain't the one. You want to build fundamental habits that you can implement for a lifetime that aren't even that hard, that will get you to where you want to be. And if you can take the time frame away from the result, you ain't going to be worried how long it's going to take you to get there or to the place that you want to be. You're just going to turn up and do what you need to do in a day or a week to get there. And that was the biggest, like, a huge switch in my mentality, where even when I started coaching, I was like, right, in 3 years' time, I'm going to be full-time online, blah, 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 blah. But now I think, well, what am I rushing for? If I don't do coaching, what's the other result? Back into the corporate world. So if this takes, obviously I'm full-time, I've been after 6 months, so smash that goal. But if it had taken 5 years to get online, does that mean that if I got to 3 years and I weren't there, does that mean I've wasted those 3 years? And I think a lot of people are like, oh cool, I've trained for a month, I've tried to work on my mental health for a month, I've tried to set up a business for a month, I've tried to set up that Instagram page for a month, I'm not seeing the results that I want, let me quit. But the reality is, you're going to be a month closer to the result than if you quit, then you're going to go back to where you were a month ago. So I think the mindset of where you are is very, very important. Like, you need to understand that time really isn't a factor. You are not in a race. Yeah, life ends when you die. You could achieve the body of your dreams when you're 40 odd. Do you know what I mean? Or you could fall in love with your body when you're 40. Your mental health could be at its pinnacle at 80. Like, all of these things, like, it just really, time doesn't matter. All that matters is the work that you put in to get towards the result. And if you've only got a week's worth of energy to put into it, then you ain't going to get nowhere. But if you keep turning up, cool. But as I say, if you put in a week's worth of work, mentally, just focus on the mental benefits, you're going to feel so much better. Like, it's going to be a joke, because you're going to be proud of yourself for turning up, doing everything that you must do to make you happy. And that's like a drug. You're going to just keep coming back for more. And when you take your focus off of the result and just on the process, focus on the work that can be done day to day, the result will take care of itself. So last week, I didn't want to shout it from the rooftops. This week, I am back, baby. I feel hella chill. I feel happy. I feel very calm in everything. And I think that is testament to the habits that I've put in place. Which, just to give you a run through of that before we cut, it's I get up early, before like 5 a.m, cold shower, meditate, walk, I read, well, I say read, I listen to Audible for half an hour, I train, and I make sure that my diet, I'm not saying it's chicken and veg, it's not, but I make sure my diet is full of nutrient dense foods, because that just makes my brain work, and some high quality H2O. So none of those habits are hard at all. And I'm not saying they're going to be habits that work for everyone, because I've tried things in the past where I think, what a load of bollocks this is. When I started meditating, I thought, this is a barrel of shit. All I'm thinking in my head is just like the thoughts that I don't really want in my head. But then you persist at it, you get better at it, and then it's more of a calming thing. So try everything, try other things, give it time. Don't just say one day, oh yeah, I'll try this, next day I'm not going to do it anymore. You're not going to see the benefits after a day. But if you have the will to change at the moment, what I want to end on is, it's not going to take you as long as you think to change. Focus on the mind and how you feel, rather than the result you're aiming for to begin with, because, as I say, it's what happens in the day-to-day that will get you to the result. It's not after a week of hard work, you deserve something. Because when you're expectant, you're just going to be fucking let down. So, stick to your habits, commit to change. Look how different you'll feel within 1 week. And then, obviously, after that week, DM me and let me know how good you're feeling. Maybe even thank me. No, I don't need that. That's for my ego, and I'm reading Ego is the Enemy at the minute, which is one of the best books I've ever read. So, you don't need to thank me. Just use that information, and honestly, remember, the time will pass. Whether you put the work in or not, the time is going to pass. You are going to die, so might as well get to work. Next week, we will be back. Much love. If you want to see it again, you can go to my YouTube channel. The link is in my Instagram bio. And obviously, if you're on Apple or Spotify, welcome back. And, well, I hope so anyway, if this one actually lets me upload. We shall see. And I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening. I feel like I needed that. I needed to get that out of my head. And, yeah. See ya.